I'm ready.
I would also like to just remind everybody that Samael is locked in a closet in the house by himself, so do not forget about him.
Oh gosh. Better roll some high numbers.
Uh, uh, I'm ready whenever everyone else is ready.
Well, it's Nick.
Nicholas! How was the game? Well, I should say the tournament.
If possible, welcome to the chat.
Yep. See, you should be thankful that I give you most of my Sundays. So it's when the game's like so close, it's like, oh.
Once you get connected, Derek will officially start. But since you're in the voice chat, I'll go ahead and do a recap for you guys. During our last session, the party traveled to Sovereign Towers district of Middle Central Plateau. Once there, they headed to an imposing temple called the Cathedral of the Cleansing Flame, the center of the Silver Flame presence in Sharn. Samael then introduced the party to Carolfont Yathana Moore, the head of the Silver Flame in this region. Yathana mentioned to Samael that his friend, the barbarian knight Savra Bellabranta, had not returned this morning from her duties in the City of the Dead, and she asked if they would investigate in her absence. After securing lodging for himself, the group headed outside the temple and reconnected with the Esvel, their sky coach driver, and continued on to the bizarre district of Middle Dura. Along the way, the group were attacked by a goblin gang flying on solar sleds as they crossed the expanse between the wards. The party were victorious and continued on to the bazaar. The group arrived at their destination and find themselves at Lydia's bakery. Byron introduced the group to Lydia Wrighton, who appeared a bit frazzled, chasing rats out of her shop. She then asked Byron to pick up a meat delivery from Gelf's kitchen at Gelf's House of Cheddar across the street, a local tavern, or to possibly find the Butchers Guild representative, Justin Rask, and convince him to deliver fresh meat to her store. She also asked him to get rid of the rats in the cellar and to fix the sign hanging out front. The party congregated in the middle of the street, wondering which destination to head towards first. Siegfried turned tail and began immediately heading towards the tinker shop that he had been invited to by the gnome Flizzy Timbers on First Tower. The party followed suit, and the group found themselves outside of the Mad Tinker, the local artificer tinker shop, with a very irate Flizzy speaking to a city watchman about her missing uncle, Dimble Tinker Timbers. The shop was locked, pending an investigation by the Braylon Inquisitive that had been summoned, yet had not arrived. Siegfried convinced the watchman to allow them inside, and the group headed in to investigate. Lizzie warned the party of Kael'thrax, who might be inside the establishment. The group headed indoors, finding the ground floor empty, and upon heading upstairs encountered a large mechanical spider that immediately attacked the party. Kael'thrax was defeated, and the party retrieved a small metal box that was removed from its head. They explored the upper levels of the shop a bit, finding a few empty rooms and one that had been filled with the artificial webbing from the construct. Siegfried and Zara searched a nearby staircase that headed down to a blank wall and found a hidden workshop filled with artificial limbs and a journal. Byron spent some time cutting through the monofilament web and found a cocoon. Flizzy called up from the ground floor, announcing the arrival of the Braylon Inquisitive, Barnabas Blastwind, who greeted Nicholas and inquired as to whether they had discovered anything. The party shared the metal box, to which Flizzy identified as a recording device. The box was activated, and the group heard a recording of an encounter between an elderly man and some men. There were muffled popping noises heard on the recording, as well as the sound of the mechanical spider construct fleeing after startling one of the men. The group stands outside of the Mad Tinker, in the presence of the councilman, Flizzy, and the recently summoned Inquisitive, Barnabas. Well then, that was curious. Flizzy, was it? Yes, it's Flizzy. This came out of Calthrax's head, no doubt. And that was most certainly my uncle. Where did you find this? Flizzy turns and looks at the party.
Siegfried looks around a bit nervous before starting up. It was inside the spider. We had to take him down. He kind of attacked us. Our apologies, but we took this out because it looked important and like it could maybe of some help.
Zara, she had walked into the alley before, and she kind of, again, seen the Inquisitor. She goes back up. Yes, what he said. I don't know much about this box, but I did find something.
You did? What did you find?
She gets her bag from around her back, and she opens it up and shows them the journal that's kind of sitting on top. I found a journal, but then she quickly closes the lid and she said, but Lizzie, I think you need to tell us some more information first.
I don't know what you mean. You found his journal. Where did you find his journal?
In the separate room that you seem so... Hush, hush.
And at this point, Flizzy turns and looks at Barnabas and says, Barnabas, I have to be honest with you. My uncle and I, for quite some time now, we have lended our services to the local warforged that live in the city. We did so under the nose of House Cannith because we know how Merrick's de Cannith and his ilk feel about artificers offering services to warforged, and we also know how the kind of stigma that this sort of work could potentially bring a dark cloud over my uncle and his business. I cannot ask that you or even these folk here who investigated before you arrived, I cannot ask of you that you keep this to yourselves. I only ask that you show pity on my uncle in his old age, showing kindness to these folk who were unjustly used for several decades by many nations. And exasperated, Flizzy just sort of twiddles her hands together and sort of plays with her hair a little bit. And Barnabas puts a hand up to his chin and strokes his beard.
Zara pulls the journal out of her bag and she puts it gently in Flizzy's hand and says, "Here, my dear. That's all I asked is just that you provided any information that you had." And she puts a hand on her shoulder and said, "I'm sorry about what's happened."
Flizzy holds the journal in her hand for a moment and looks at it. And then she hands it back to you, Zara. And she says, "It's not mine. It's my uncle's. And if there's anything in there that can help you, I want you to have it. You can return it when you return my uncle."
All right. Well, We will do our best. And she kind of looks around to the rest of the group.
Barnabas continues to stay silent, and he seems to be studying the outer facade of the building. The city watchman has wandered off now. Seeing that Barnabas appears to have this in hand, he is now securing the street several paces away from the party.
If I may, sir, whether they were doing so or not, I don't, to my knowledge, think that it's illegal. However, it is possible that him doing this caught the attentions of those that may need his service in such a matter. So it may be possible a group that may be doing some sketchy things, like creating bad Warforged, is possibly possible.
Well, indeed, it's not illegal to do that sort of work, so to speak. Repairs and upgrades to Warforged. They are citizens, and they're all protected under the Galifar Code of Justice, just as you are, all of you are. When they were emancipated at the Treaty of Thronehold. Flizzy, I'm sure that your uncle knew the implications and possibilities of what could happen in taking on this sort of work, and I understand that you wish to be discreet. However, you must understand that I will have to investigate and check this entire facade and interior of this building. As for the rest of you, it appears that you've been drawn into a plot of some sort. At the moment, we cannot say what has befallen Dimble. And obviously this recording will have to be studied. It's very curious indeed. These men and the strange audible noises must sound very, very familiar, but indeed they will have to be investigated further.
As he speaks, Siegfried's eyes go wide open. I when we were leaving one of the rooms, our paladin friend actually got stuck behind the door. I think I may have accidentally brushed the button. Is it okay if I go back in to let him out real quick?
He looks you up and down and make a persuasion check.
And I'd like to aid him in that. I was just about to say the same thing. Yes, I saw
I
it
would
as
say
well.
make a persuasion check with disadvantage because you told him that he jumped out the window. Or somebody did, I should say. So if you're aiding him, that would mean the disadvantage is gone.
Okay.
It doesn't matter anyway.
God.
Well, if you say he's
Well,
up there,
welcome back to the good roll.
you say he's up there, then I'm sure that we'll get him out wherever he's locked in. You said he's a paladin?
Yes, we were kind of afraid that that might get whoever was owned the workshop in trouble, but now we're clearly seeing it's not. We want to be clear on that, but I did probably accidentally leave him up there in the hurry, though. I'm not good under pressure sometimes, sir. As Siegfried just kind of shrinks in stature while talking.
But yes, he's telling the truth.
Barnabas just sort of
Barnabas.
strokes his beard again, looking at
Barnabas.
the two of you.
I
Yeah.
apologize for them. Simwell, as I haven't known him long, I do know him, and I would consider him a friend. I don't know if he got stuck or not. Just let me go up there and I get him. I do apologize about what my friend said about jumping out the window. That is not true. We were trying to investigate.
We just weren't sure how dark or the situation was, but I see that you guys had honest intentions. You were just trying to help others and with the Warforged, and it's not illegal at all. And
Well, it is very curious that you would keep something like that secretive at first, but understanding the circumstances and the possibility of your friend here, your newfound friend, getting in trouble, I can understand wanting to help your friend. Very well, you can retrieve him and bring him down. I would like to talk to him before you all leave, though. And Nicholas, if you'd be so kind as to stay for a moment while your friends retrieve your friend.
Nope.
Siegfried, hastily, but still small in stature, slips into the house to go up to let Samael out of the...
Zara goes with him.
That was almost a bit of an overload, but it's okay. Just deep breaths, deep breaths. Okay, now, where was that button at?
I think it was right here.
Yeah, Siegfried runs his hand across the button on the second floor stairway.
Yet again, the stairwell opens up, the wall recedes, and the room is revealed.
Siegfried shakes a bit as the things move, startled a bit. Samael, it's so... a gentleman and a inquisitor that actually would like to speak with you, just to confirm if you think you would come with us and talk to him.
Sure, I'll be right over there.
All right.
Have I found anything in the house since I've been here? And how much time has passed that I've been in the house?
I would say you've been in the house without your friends for about 5 minutes.
Oh, I haven't found anything. Okay, I'm on the way out.
I like
Yeah.
to think we just open the door and he's just standing there in the same exact spot.
As you're heading back downstairs, out on the walk outside, Byron, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to hang back and try to get them to ignore me.
Make a
Maybe
perception
talk
check.
about whether they want first.
Byron, from across the way at the end of the street, outside of the facade of the tavern, Gelf's Tavern, you see a couple of individuals, and they look to be staring your way. One of them actually raises an arm and points in your direction. And then they begin walking away from you where you're located.
Do I recognize them?
Oh, yes. You recognize them as men that work for Gelf. They work in his kitchen.
Okay.
Barnabas looks at you, Nicholas, and says, "Not been in the city more than an hour, and you're already getting back into inquisitive business, I see."
It wasn't my plan. It kind of happened to fall upon us as we were trying to go to Dimble's to buy trinkets.
I don't think anyone's going to be buying anything from Dimble's shop anytime soon. I'm not going to lie to you, Nicholas. This is a very peculiar and strange case, and it's going to take some time to find out. Do you recognize anything at all? I know in your travels you have encountered strange things. Did the men sound familiar to you?
The men didn't sound familiar, but the weapons they used did. They're definitely firearms, black powder. Use black powder for sure. But I can't. Yes, I don't know. It would be my guess. I don't think anything else sounds like that.
I will take your word for it, but I will still have to investigate further. If it is all
So
possible,
whoever did this. I apologize. Continue.
I hate to ask you this of you. I know you're busy, and I know you mentioned that you are on holiday with your wife. But if it's possible that you could stop by my office tomorrow morning, I'll see what I can do to investigate this further and talk to a few individuals. And obviously, we're going to give the facade and the interior a good once over. But if you could meet me at my office tomorrow morning, and we can go over the details, I might have something if you were willing to assist me. Just arriving back into Sharn, obviously my case workload is full.
Yes. I
If
understand.
you would be so kind as to assist, obviously you cannot operate within the city without a license as an inquisitive, but knowing you, I'm sure that you'll be quite successful figuring out on your own without the assistance of the King's Citadel.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
And I might be able to help.
I'll do my best.
I may be able to help you out with a little bit of coin as well.
Okay.
In an unofficial capacity, obviously. This is strictly off the books.
Of course. Of course.
If you'll excuse me, once your friends have exited the building, I'm going to begin my investigation best I can immediately. I'm sure that you have many other things to attend to.
Yes, indeed we do. I thank you so much, Barnabas. I apologize for my friend.
It is quite all right. I will have a conversation with your paladin friend before he leaves. And also, you do know where my office is, don't you?
Your office is in the Inquisitor building, right? In the King's Hall?
It's at Ambassador's Towers, actually.
Yeah.
It's the Citadel. You remember the Citadel, didn't you?
Yes, the Citadel. In the
Yes.
Ambassador's Towers.
And you won't be able to get there through normal means. We have made some changes since the last time you've been here. You will need to get there via Sky Coach.
Okay.
We had to make some changes for security reasons. We've had a lot of attempted break-ins as of late.
Yes, I see. Yeah. Always good to up the security. Well. Well.
I think did we found you? I'm guessing. Did we find you, Samael? Where are you?
I am the master of hide and seek.
Come out, wherever you are.
Yes, I'm here. What do you need?
Oh, it's time to go. It's all good. It's all clear. We're not in trouble, and there's not really much more to find here.
I wasn't worried about being in trouble. I was more worried about seeing if there was anything else in the house.
No, they just service warforges, and they wanted to keep that under wraps. So, it's really not too. I mean, from what I can see, not too much more.
Well, if you all feel that we're finished, then let's go.
I think we're good. And she starts making her way down the stairs.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get going. You first.
Are you all right, Siegfried?
Yeah, perfectly fine. I'm just, I guess a bit shooken, but, I'll be okay. Let's just continue on. Maybe we can find something else. There is that cheese tavern, is there not?
Yes, we should probably get there as soon as we can. Plus, I really want to eat my anniversary cakes with you guys. So we're coming down the stairs.
Okay, as you exit the building with Samael in tow, Barnabas looks up and sees you, Samael, and says, "Ah, the gentleman who was so helpful on the train. Greetings."
Hey, how's it going?
I just wanted to say that I have spoken to Nicholas and to the rest of your friends, and It seems that you have all sort of been drawn into this kidnapping plot. At least that's what it appears to be. And no, this is not official church business by any means, but if you'd be so kind as to assist them, and if you could possibly put in a word for me for Yathana. I haven't spoken to her in some time. If you could just let her know that she is in my thoughts.
I'll have nothing but favorable things to say about you. And of course, it's church business. If there's anybody doing evil in the city, I'll be more than happy to help.
I would definitely qualify a kidnapping, potentially, as evil activity.
Well, I'll be more than happy to give you a helping hand, and I'll remember you in good faith next time I speak with her.
Well, I thank you. I will bid you all adieu then, and...
Before you go, have you heard anything recently on the City of the Dead? Any unusual activity there?
I have not. Only recently returned back to the city myself, but I'd be more than willing to make some inquiries. I've asked Nicholas to meet me in the offices tomorrow. And
if you can have somebody check on that and just let us know if you hear anything, just leave word with me on it, because I need to go out there and look into some things myself, but the situation seems to be a little more dire and pressing at the moment.
I will have someone from the watch investigate.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Indeed. Well, I will bid you all farewell. I'm certain that you have more important matters to attend to. Again, I hope to see you all tomorrow morning, or at the very least, Nicholas, if you could meet me tomorrow morning.
Yes, definitely, Barnabas. For you.
All you have to do is give your name when you arrive at the tower, and they will allow you in the Citadel.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow morning.